Hey everyone, Paul at ASM. Welcome to my Christmas at the Bench update. So it is Christmas Eve. It is the day before Christmas, obviously, depending on where you are in the world. If you're already in Australia, it's gone midday in the UK, so it is already Christmas where you are. So, yes, another year. This year has absolutely flown by. It's crazy how quick it's gone. It's definitely been a year of ups and downs. I'll give it that. But moving forward from that, positivity, should we say, is ahead, and get rid of some of that negativity that's been lingering around. Well, we already have got rid of that negativity that's been hanging around, and move forward with the hobby, with the community, and with my Off Air Hangouts, live streams, patrons, my videos, the lot. Next year, we're going to push on and make it all positive and leave all the negativity behind. Now, the only negativity I want to talk about, because it's important, is what happened last year. Sadly, we lost a few great people out the daily hangouts, the live streams, and what have you. And of course, I'm referring about Gary Pashley and John MacArthur. Gary passed away in February this year, still is, isn't it? Just out of the blue, we found out one morning. We were live actually when we found out. And I think it hit a lot of us quite hard. Gary was he was certainly a character. He definitely had no filter on him whatsoever. He got us in trouble a few times when we were live. But he was a good guy, and he is missed at the Hangouts quite a lot for his blunt humour and observations. And it was really sad when we heard the passing of him. So I know it hit quite a few of us quite hard, but it did spur along a few not good things, but maybe eye openers for us, which I'll talk about in a minute. We also lost John MacArthur in August, and John was a great guy. John was a regular viewer on the morning live streams and my videos, and he started joining the Off Air Hangouts. He'd been live with us on a few of the mornings as well. Just a really nice Aussie guy. And again, we just found out one morning he passed away. Really sad news to lose two great people out of our live streams and community as well. So with Gary's part of the live crew as well. We pestered Gary for months. Well, didn't pester him. We'd offered him for months to come and join us on the live stream. We got him there for a couple of months, and yeah, I'm glad we did, because I think whether it added to the live streams, I don't know, because he was a bit of a grumpy bugger. But it was nice to get him on there with us, and he was a very knowledgeable guy about a lot of subjects. So he was a valuable member to the live crew and the Off Air Hangouts. Now, all we can do for them this year is to kind of, in their memory, I think we're going to do some group builds for them. So for Gary, I'm going to talk about this in a bit. He loved JDM subjects, all the Japanese domestic market cars. That a Lexus he loved. And I know he liked the Lexus LFA because he always pestered me to build mine. So I proposed in February this year we do a Lexus LFA build, the Tamiya kit. Luckily, it's just been re-released as well because it was getting pricey to find. So in February, I'm proposing that. I'll talk about it a bit more in a bit because it's in my proposed builds of next year. So if you want to take part in February, the Tamiya Lexus LFA has literally just been re-released. It's not the cheapest kit in the world, but it's an immense kit, and we're going to build that in Gary's honour. Later on in the year in August, we're going to do a build for John. John loved his Mercury Cougar, which he had. We also had a Holden as well. Sadly, kits for both of those aren't readily available. So myself or Jamie's going to speak to one of his family members, because we're still friends, on John's profile, and see what other loves he had other than my compressor, and see what we can build in John's honour in August of next year. Being a Mercury owner, hopefully it was a Ford fan, and we can figure out a readily available kit to commemorate their lives as well. So really sad to lose the guys. I know it hit a few of us quite hard, and probably put things in, reflection about lives and what have you. I know it sounds a bit morbid saying it, but it makes your own mortality become more real, if that makes sense. And it definitely spurred me into building a few more kits I probably would never have done, which we'll get to in a minute. As I say, we lost a few people, good people, and we gained so many great people in the Hangouts that have joined us over the last 12 months. But some great characters have joined us. Jamie's become a regular part of the daily live stream and the Hangouts. Joe, who's an absolute legend, has been joining us again, or nearly almost daily. Paul J. Lewis, Cam, just more and more people joining us and becoming regular, very valuable members of the Off Air Hangouts and the On Air Hangouts as well. So long may that continue. I want our community to grow and the Off Air Hangouts to grow. And yeah, I think the Off Air Hangouts have definitely improved over the last few months. That's one thing I am going to say. There's no negativity in there. It's all positive. It's just good fun. Just people enjoying their hobby with no stress, drama, politics, nothing at all. Really easy going. And that's the way it should be. And moving on into 2023, that is my New Year's revolution, I've called them, resolution, is to get rid of the negativity. And I've just spoken about it on my live stream. And that's it. I don't want no negativity in my Hangouts, in my modelling, in my life. And the easiest way for me to deal with that is, if anyone is, I'm just going to block you and move on. If I block you on Facebook or what have you, you're gone because you can't join the Off Air Hangouts. You can't comment on YouTube. I can block you on there. And that's what I'm going to deal with. Is even slight negativity or anything, I'm done. That's it. That's where I'm moving forward. Enter 2023 with a more positive outlook and hopefully enjoy this hobby, both the hobby itself, the Off Air Hangouts, the live streams, the Friday night show, my video content creation, my Facebook content creation. Enjoy it more for what it should be without the stress and drama of other people's perceived or added drama, because I don't want any of this at all. I want to enjoy my hobby and enjoy what I'm doing with all my friends that are in the hobby. So that is that. Hangouts, every day, busy. They're doing really well. A little bit quiet of a night, but that's not bad because I leave quite early. I leave 8, 9 o'clock at night. But through the day, busy in the mornings, busy in the mid-afternoons till 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. So that suits me down to the ground. Like I say, loads of new people have joined, have met, have been in the Hangouts as well. Sorry, the live Hangouts. There's so many to name, I couldn't even begin to name, but lots of good people have started watching and taking part in the chat, which is brilliant. So long may that continue as well. I've got a cheat sheet down here as well, so apologies. My live streams for the mornings, I've been going live every morning now for over a year. It was a year at the end of October, so not a bad thing to do. And again, great community, great support, regular people there every day, and just a nice thing, bit of structure in my day-to-day life and a few others as well. So it's nice to see, and nice to see people getting out of it as well. Enjoyment, company and what have you, because the amount of feedback I get on those Hangouts is very positive about the difference it makes in day-to-day life for people. And if I can add something as small as that and add a bit of, say, joy, whether it's joy, I don't know, then it makes it worthwhile doing. So for me, the Hangouts are going from strength to strength for me. And I enjoy every morning coming out here and chatting to everybody, saying hello, whether I'm modelling, filming, chatting, ranting, whatever, they're all enjoyable. Live shows, Friday nights, bit of a up and down on this one for me. I had a bit of a chat with the guys last night. I think I sorted myself out a bit with that one. Getting a bit disillusioned about their Friday night shows, but yeah, I think that's sorted now. So on to 2023 with these, onwards and upwards. So yeah, overall, I think for myself, and a lot of the other guys. Things have improved over the last few months, definitely in our community. And long may it continue. Like I say, get rid of the negativity. I don't want to see or hear any of it. And let's move on with the positive side of the hobby and enjoy the hobby that a lot of us put a lot of effort and time in. And hopefully into 2023 produce lots of nice models. There we are. Right then, I'm going to go through a few purchases I've made. There's not many, but I'm going through a few purchases I've made. And then I'm going to go through my complete builds of the year. There's quite a lot here, including 5 minutes to Lancia, because the Lancia was quite a proud build of mine. It lives up there. So if you want to sit and watch it, go through. They're all my builds of the year. I'm going to go through and have a quick chat about them. I'm also going to talk about proposed builds for next year as well. I've got kind of a short list of builds they're going to go through. So it is quite long. If you want to sit and watch it, I'd appreciate it. If you don't, well, you don't have to. And then we'll come back at the end for a quick chat. Yeah, there we are. So let's jump in. Let's have a chat about this. Okay, so we'll start with the purchases. I found this 67 Nicky Camaro on eBay. Love the look of it. Had to grab it. This is planned for a future build in the near future. Also saw these phenomenal Mr. Colour clears and metallics that Joe Camilleri was using on his build and had to get them. Lots of plans for those in future builds along the way, including the Pro Street Super B. I'm looking at starting very soon. So they look awesome paints. Quite a bit of experimentation required there to see what kind of funky colours we can get out of them. Hot Wheels, crazy people keep sending me Hot Wheels. Andrew Dewar, you know who you are, as is everybody now. Keep sending me Hot Wheels through the post. Some very, very cool ones, including this excellent Gulf 32 Ford, which is just epic. My girlfriend and my little boy have now started buying me them, and I've also started buying me them. I ended up with, started off with 6. I've got dozens now. So I needed somewhere to store them, so I've opted to pin them to the shelf that runs around the top of my cave. They fit in there perfect. They don't look too bad either. They look quite decorative. But it's an ever-growing stash of Hot Wheels, and I will inevitably run out of space. But I've got a little bit left on this shelf here, although it is a bit more fuller since then. And yeah, they're interesting. I like collect them. Only certain subjects. And some of the biggest sets have gone here, and I've got a load behind me as well. Now, projects through the year, 18 finished this year, including my proudest one, which is this. This is my 1/12 scale Model Factory Hero Lancia Delta HF Evo 92 rally car. Now, this was a build that took me 6 months, 5 months really. There was a break in between, went with some spare parts. My first ever Model Factory Hero kit, and if you asked me a year ago, or told me I'd have one built now, I'd be like, no, you're lying. I always said I'd never build one of these. After meeting Jamie in the group and watching him build them, I was more and more drawn into building these. After the passing of Gary earlier in the year, it made me put my stash into kind of a different kind of look into building kits we probably would never build before. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to build one of these. So Lancia Delta HF Evos have been one of my all-time favourite rally cars. It is the epitome of rallying after the Group B cars for me. And I thought, let's grab one of these and build it. So it's a white metal kit, resin, multimedia PE, pipes, everything. It is a hell of a build. I have a full 18 part build series on this on the channel. We can go back and watch it from start to finish. They are epic kits to build. I have 3 more on the stash, a 250 GTO, a Lancia 037 and a 24 scale Pink Pig to do. And I'll be starting the 12 scale Ferrari 250 GTO in the new year, so stay tuned for that. This thing was just a great build. A lot of trial, test fit is definitely the mantra with these things. And she came out really well. Not perfect, but really well. So this was his home original display case. Luke Ward, on my asking, kindly printed me off some 3D helmets to display in the car and next to it. So these things look absolutely wonderful. Thank you for sorting these out for me, Luke. He also did some headsets for inside the car, and a little mixer. You can see them hanging on the back of the roll cage. They look absolutely fabulous in the car itself. A nice little touch of extra detail. So again, thank you, Luke. They look epic, mate. Really love these. And And the helmets themselves, yeah, they just added a whole new dimension to the kit, and having the slightly bigger one as a display piece is epically good too. So they were all painted up, decaled as good as I could with the reference pictures I had. They're not technically the correct helmets for the car. They were closed face helmets they used on the particular rail this car was in, but I don't really care. So we've got two 12 scale ones and one that's about an 8 scale, we reckon, that I plan to display next to the car. The smaller ones were put in the car for pictures. I've got a short video here that I put on Instagram and Facebook as a short. So I'll show you here. It is in portrait, so excuse the small picture. But it just shows how everything opens on this car. My poor turntable there is struggling to turn this 4 kilo monster. But the helmets just look great. They really do add a nice aspect to the car. But just what a wonderful kit of a wonderful car. I thoroughly enjoyed doing this. I am very proud of this kit. And I have shown it off a lot. I know I have. But everything opens, all the boot lid opens, the doors shut and close. The bonnet opens and closes. And everything fits really well. Just that bonnet there just sits proud at the top. A little bit of a misfit on the suspension turrets, but my doors all fit perfect. So on the most part, all my test fitting worked absolutely fantastic. But it's a very, very hefty model. Now, as I showed a minute ago, I originally had it in my display case. I wasn't happy having that weight on the shelves. There's a larger helmet on it as well. So I bought a new case that I put my Skyline in. That came out and I mounted it to the top of this unit. It's a very secure wooden unit. It's going nowhere and the case is screwed to it. So it is perfectly safe and looks great. Another build of the year is my Christmas buddy build, my birthday Christmas buddy build. Revell's 25th scale 68 Chevy Chevelle. So this was my entry to it. We've got loads of cool entries. The build is still open till the end of the year. After it's closed, I will be doing a collation of all the builds and I'll do a video on those. But this is my effort. This was painted on a Storal Blue from BMW. I used the Foose wheels from last year's group build. A bit of a mixture of a tan and light beige interior. And yeah, it turned out really well. Really happy with this one. And I just can't wait to see all the builds in a slideshow together. Something I've been wanting to do for a while was my car modelling techniques revisited. So I opted to use the B-Max 24 scale BMW for this. Here's all the videos. These are currently on my Patreon. There's 8 of them in total. They will be released over on ISM within the next 4 to 6 weeks. So we've got the B-Max kit itself, some Studio 27 Listerine decals, the B-Max detail upset, K&P Dimag wheels, a mask set and some paint from Zero. And here she is. And she turned out really well. Overall, I'm happy with it. We've got the correct wheels on it for the car, the Dimags with the correct wheel. We modified the side for the side exhaust of the Listerine car. Added the fuel fillers, added some wiring inside. It's a bit overscale, but it looked okay. But what a great scheme. For me, this is one of the most iconic schemes of the British touring cars. The two E30s, for me, the main ones, is the Labatt's and this Listerine car, and then you've got the Sierras. I love the Sierras. I've done 2 of the Sierras so far. I've done the Eggenberger Texaco, and I've done the Labatt car. I've still got the Labatt BMW to do, and Andy Rouse's Calibre BMW to do. We'll get to that in a little bit, because it's a planned build of mine next year. But this turned out well. I've covered a lot of the more advanced techniques for this build in the video. I've not gone over the fundamental tasks like paint and what have you. We left all kind of that out. But I've added some more, like added extras like the photo etch, the wheels in there. For those who already know how to paint and things like that. I've taken up a step from the original Subaru build, which was like the intermediate starter one. And then I've got the complete beginners one in the RX-7 build, which I used all spray cans. But this one turned out really well. I'm happy with it, and this was my last build of the year. This was build number 18. And from my last build of the year to my first one, this is Revell's Corvette C6. Lovely kit, really nice kit. I was just never happy with this paint. The metallic flakes are way too big in it, and it kind of ruined the build a little bit for me. I have another one to do that I will do red at some point. I have Victory Red for it, so we will revisit it at some point. But it's such a shame because it's a beautiful kit. So it's just a little bit of a shame, but it's a chance you take with metallic paints, especially modelling scale, because they're quite often full-size car paints. It means the metallic flakes can be a little bit oversized at times, so it's a chance you take, and sadly on this one, I wasn't too happy with it. The build got done. It's a great looking car. It's just a shame about the paint, but it is what it is. We'll revisit it down the line later on, and we'll build it again in a different colour. Another car that caught my eye is this AMT, I think it's a 70 Super B. I think it was a 70, I forget now, in this crazy plum purple. Saw this car, this angle of the car on the box art did it for me. Those bonnet scoops and that angry front end in this colour. It was a bit of a pig of a kit. Everything was twisted and warped, but a very enjoyable build and a great looking car as well. I really do like these Super Bs, and this is going to be on my next build, a Pro Street version of this kit. All these builds were video builds, by the way. You can find all these on the channel. We've got Fujimi's SLS Mercedes AMG GT next. A scheme I wanted to do for a while, and I picked possibly the worst time to build the Russian racing team as the invasion of Ukraine began. It was an unfortunate time, but I'd already committed to starting it, so we carried on. Great looking scheme, very, very vibrant. These are great kits, but they are very, very simple. I actually found it a little bit uninspiring at the time to build because there's not a lot to them at all. There's no engine, there's very little interior, there's no real running gear because it's a flat pan car. But overall, very happy how it turned out. It's a very, very striking scheme. And don't get me wrong, it is a great kit. It is a great kit, just a little bit simple. With the untimely passing of Gary, our friend Mr. Gary Pashley, we did a build in his honour. He loved F-15s, so we did a group build in his honour. This was my build I did for him. Sadly, it got destroyed. It jumped off the shelf all by itself and ended up in the bin, but I still built it in Gary's honour. Alpha Models, another kit I said I'd probably never build, was Alpha Models. Technically this is Hobby Design, same company, but I saw this Singer DLS Porsche, fell in love with it, bought it there and then and built it immediately, and what great fun this was. And this was my first introduction into these full resin kits, which I said I'd never build, and again, an eye-opener from Gary's passing, thought, right, sod it, let's jump in. It's a whole sea of carbon, this beautiful Porsche green, and just a great kit of a phenomenal car. Absolutely beautiful colour. A beautiful kit, lovely interior, really nice. And speaking of beautiful cars, we've got the Fujimi 24th scale Ferrari 250 GTO. Lovely kit, out the box it would build up nice. I had the added Hobby Design wheels, exhaust tips, I had some photo etch for it as well. And what a wonderful kit to build of a truly iconic car. Like I say, I've got the 12 scale Modifaccia Hero kit of this to do next. Can't wait to do it. Doing it in Graham's Hill's car, I think I am so far. But absolutely beautiful. A very generous gift from Brian Wimmel, one of my viewers, was this Hobby Design Lamborghini Liberty Walks Aventador in the Gulf scheme. Beautiful kit and a beautiful scheme. Really just look at angry looking car. Fantastic stance on it. And again, a really enjoyable build and just a great iconic scheme on the Gulf cars. It is truly one of the nicest schemes out there with Martini and things like that. It was a great build. Nice orange accents on the interior, the brakes and what have you, and just a great looking car. And not a bad kit either. It really was a good kit to build. Next up, again, something I've been putting off for a while. There's this trans kit from Hobby Design. This is the R32 from Tamiya with the greedy front bumper, side skirt and what have you on it. Needed quite a bit of surgery on the body. I've been putting it off for ages. And again, with what happened with Gary and thinking of our stashes and pushing ourselves, it pushed me into building this kit. And having already started the Modifaccia Hero build, this was like child's play. The bumper cut off easy. I had warped resin that I fixed really easy. Colour a bit disappointing. This was supposed to be Midnight Purple from Gravity. It was an early colour. I think it was kind of replaced very quickly because it's not Midnight Purple 3. It's some kind of weird purple. But overall, it turned out well and looks great. We've got Revell's Premium, and I say premium in a looser sense of the term, BMW 850i. I added some scale production Alpina rims to this. It's a bit of a ropey kit. The bodywork isn't too bad on it at all. The running gear is a nightmare. It really is terrible. I had to bodge a little bit of bodgery on this, is the only way I can word it, to get the axles to fit, to get the wheels on. But great looking colour in Calypso red. I know my exhaust upside down if anybody tells me. I've already been told that. But one of my favourite cars, and it wasn't a bad kit. Just for the 80 odd pounds I bought it for, it wasn't great. This is also the Tamiya kit, Tamiya Rebox Revell kit. And funnily enough, this literally just sold last night on Etsy. All my build kits are up for sale on Etsy, and it sold last night. Another Alpha Models kit, the Audi A4 RS4 Avant. Mixed up my own colour of blue, the black wheels. As soon as I picked the colour, Mike, one of my viewers, mentioned a beautiful Ipanina brown. I'd already committed to blue and I was like, damn it. So I thought, if Alpha Models releases an RS6, I'll do it in that colour. Lo and behold, they did, and you'll see that in a minute. But beautiful colour of a great kit of an epic car. These RS Audis are pretty epic machines, and this one turned out beautiful. Lots of carbon accents on the black, those gloss black wheels, nice black interior. It's just a mean, moody, fast machine of a car. Love building this one. Very interesting model. Another one, Ferrari 812 Superfast from Alpha Models. Asking for recommendations on paint, and I used the Grigio Silverstone, I think the colour was. Yes, it was. Everyone was telling me to do it in satin, so I left it satin, and I'm glad I did. With the gloss black wheels, with the yellow calipers and the red interior, it just looks absolutely stunning. A very mean looking car. Very nice stance, and Ferrari's last normally aspirated V12. Speaking of Ipanina Brown, here it is. This is the RS6. So as soon as Alpha Models announced the release of this, I got one and painted it in this colour. And what a beautiful colour that is. It was a good suggestion from Mike. Thank you, Mike. Again, literally the bigger brother of the RS4 Avant. Epic machine. Absolutely epic, beautiful machine. I found a video of this car in this colour, and it just looks wonderful. And sprayed, just what a phenomenal colour. Great kit as well from Alpha Models. I'm a big fan of these Alpha Models. A lot of people say they're overpriced. I think for the quality and the enjoyment and the subject matter, more importantly, of these kits, that they are great. And I plan to carry on building these next year, as you'll see in a bit. And just great fun and different to build. Speaking of different to build, is this Monogram GTX. I think it's a 70, if I remember right. This was part of the United Scale Content Creators, Automotive Content Creators group build that they started at the end of this year. I think it was around September. So I was kindly given one, sent one by one of my viewers. Thank you, buddy. And set to work building it, built it really quick. Finished it in F8 dark green from Scale Finishes, my buddy Joe sent me. Cleared it like normal, and you know what, for an old Monogram kit, it went together pretty well, and I'm more than happy with the result. The stance looks alright, it sits well, it's a great colour, and yeah, another great piece of American muscle. Aston Martin DB11 from Alpha Models, finished in this beautiful let me remember the colour now. Is it Brahma Blue? I think it was Brahma Blue. It was. Which just, as soon as it was clear coated, just popped. And yeah, lovely kit from Alpha Models of a beautiful car. And what a beautiful colour. Absolutely stunning, deep, dark blue. Really, really nice. And again, Alpha Models, the kit was just really nice to put together. I've got my front and rear wheels mixed up on one side. Somebody pointed it out for me. There's nothing to do about it. They're glued in place, so it is what it is, unfortunately. Tamiya 24 scale Porsche GT2. Now, I saw Patrick Sedney's build of one of these with these wonderful Speedline wheels he had printed by Cesar Munez. So spoke to Cesar, got into 3D print with them, and we built it as we can see here. So this is done in Guards Red from Porsche. The wheels, like I say, were 3D printed by Cesar. He also did the intake scoops on the front bumper, the indicators for the side, and it was just a nice, simple kit to build of a great looking Porsche. One of my favourite stars of Porsche. I think it's a 964, if I remember right. And here we are on to my next build I've started. Now, This is Alpha Models, pardon my voice, Honda Type R FK8, the Civic. This is a patron exclusive build, so you have to be a supporter of a certain level to see this build, but I'm going to show it full resin multimedia from Alpha Models again. So you've got your resin body, wheels, etc., but you also get photo etch in there and other bits and bobs as well. And these are kits that you've seen back, like the Audis and the Astons and what have you. This is what's involved. So not my normal build. This was actually sent me by Alpha Models for free to review and build. So looking for something to build, I thought, why not? I found this limited edition one in the sunset yellow. So I've got the appropriate colour. We're going to do it with the black painted accents and some carbon accents on the lower front and rear, front splitter, side skirt and rear diffuser. The rest of black is already painted. I'm hoping to do the interior red as shown here, as well as the brakes and what have you. And this is where I'm currently at with the build now. It's been prepped, primed, painted the sunset yellow. Spent 7.5 hours, 8 hours of the day masking up for all the black. And this is where we're at now. An absolute nightmare to do. I've still got to touch up some of it, but for the most part, it's done. Part 1 of this should be up within the next week or so. Like I say, it is a Patreon exclusive build. I am trying to give more back to my monetary supporters. So I'm going to make some builds Patreon only from time to time. I'm still putting free content out. I'm putting out 12 to 15 videos a month for free. So to lose 3 or 4 of them, it's not the end of the world. And if you want to see them, you can become a supporter by hitting the Patreon button down below, picking the applicable tier, which I think is tier 4, and you'll get access to the exclusive videos as well as lots of other perks as well. But great colour, and this thing's going to look very striking with all its red accents and carbon and what have you when it's done. Now, a build I'm really looking forward to starting, and a very kind gift from another supporter of mine, thank you PK, is this beautiful 112 Ferrari 250 GTO from Model Factory Hero. There's a review of this on the channel. You can go back and have a look. It looks immense. I spent a good few hours of the morning sorting all the parts out, and this isn't even all of them. Cleaned them all up in my tumbler and put them on the applicable sections ready for the build. So we're going to start that in the new year. And proposed builds for next year. We've got this Alfa Romeo 155, which is a shell for Doom. This is painted. I'd like to finish that. The same with this Mitsubishi Evo 6. I've got one video part up on the channel. I never finished it, so I'd like to finish that as well. This is a build I plan to start soon with some of those GX Mr. Colour paints. The 70 Coronet Super B and the Pro Street. We've got a buddy build coming up with the Dodge Viper. Myself and a few of the lads are doing the SR10. We're going to open up to anybody that wants to build a Viper car. The LFA build is going to go ahead in February to commemorate the death of our friend Gary Pashley. So any of the Tamiya LFAs are eligible. This Camaro is going to appear for some reason in the future, which become, well, you'll probably find out tomorrow about that one. We'll see. And then rest of the builds for the year. So Alpha Models, these are not set in stone. These are ones I've shortlisted. But I'd like to do the Alfa Romeo Giulia. I'd like to finish the 488 Pista I started last year. This was the one I had a night with the paint on, if you remember that. I want to do this SF90 Stradale, which is a phenomenal kit. There will be a review of this coming up very soon. This, to me, is probably Alpha Model's best kit to date. And just for Philip Hartford is the Aston Martin Vantage. Couldn't leave Philip out, not at Christmas, so that is for him. And the Lamborghini Urus is another one I plan to build as well. Not something I'd normally build, but quite a funky looking vehicle, and it comes in some funky looking colour schemes as well. Another Alpha Models I like to do is his RX-7 Bailside as well. I've literally just seen one of these completed and look epic, so I think this is another one that's shortlisted for next year. 16 scale Fujimi F40. I love these Fujimi 16 scale kits, and this will be probably built at some point next year. I'd also like to do my 12 scale Ford Mach 1 from Doyushu, because again, it was a gift from Hannah. I don't get many modelling gifts from Hannah, and I'd like to do it. And I'd also like to do, terrible picture, I do apologise, the 12 scale Porsche Carrera from Tamiya as well, because that is an epic kit in its own right. Now, to start the American builds, we've got the AMT 63 Corvette Stingray I'd like to build at some point. Not a bad kit, I've looked through the box. This Ford Torino Talladega, I love the big sweeping back end of this thing. I think it's beautifully ugly at the same time. Ford Torino 70, another one I like the look of as well, something I'd like to possibly build throughout the year. For the ISM movie GB, I think I'm going to do Smoking the Bandit 77 Pontiac Firebird. a kit I've been meaning to do for quite some time, so I'd really like to do that. This 65 Shelby Cobra is something that caught my eye. It's in the Gulf colours, so why wouldn't it? Mercedes SLR McLaren, a kit we want to do for a long time. Quite an involved build, I believe, so it'd be an interesting one to do. This is my proposed entry to the ISM Le Mans group build. This beautiful Ferrari 250 Testarossa. My buddy Joe sent me all the way from Canada. I'd like to revisit the Michelin Pilot Escort as well. I built a while back. D Models is also going to release the WRC version of that. We'll do at some point. And I'd like to do Andy Rouse's RS500 as well to go with my other collection of cars. SK Decals re-released the decals for these D2 AMG Mercedes. This is something I'd like to do as well. And the Peugeot 206 from Tamiya I'd like to do in the Federal scheme, which is the gold and black scheme, which is this here. Beautiful scheme, very striking car. The Porsche 917K from Fujimi I'd like to do in the Martini colours. And the Subaru 99 I'd like to do in the Winfield scheme I did a few years back. I regret selling. It's a beautiful scheme and it's nice to see a red Subaru. So there we go. I know it took forever to get through, but that's all my finished builds and proposed builds for next year. Tried to keep the mix of proposed builds all over the place. So, like I said, they're proposed. They're not set in stone. I haven't done an order yet, but I do plan to kind of sit there and kind of write some sort of schedule for the year. I do have some group builds too. I've got the Viper, the Camaro, the LFA, the Testarossa for Le Mans build. I need to sit and look at ISM's group builds that Alan and Simon have worked out and see if I can collate some of mine in there. But I'll try to keep it quite a varied mix of different types of car. You know, rally, race, road, American, large scale, resin, MFH, just to try and keep it varied. So hopefully we've got a little bit of something there for everybody, and we can keep the content going over 2023. And that's it. That's all I've got to talk about. So all I've got left to do is the thanks, and I'm going to thank everybody for the continued support this year. Everyone that watches the videos on ISM, everyone that tunes into the Friday Night Live show, everyone that tunes in every day on my morning live streams, watches all the videos. You're all absolutely fantastic. Thank you for your support. I'd massively like to thank all my Patreon supporters and other people that support in different ways. You're all absolute legends. I say it all the time. You don't realise the difference you've made to myself and my family this year. Literally, you do not know the difference you've made helping. It's just immense, and I'm still blown away by the generosity of you all, and I hope that continues because, well, I just do. And all I can do is thank you all from myself, Hannah and James, for your continued support throughout the year. I'm trying my best to improve the patronage. You got exclusive builds now, exclusive how-to builds. There's a Patreon group supporter chat on Facebook. There's a supporter group. We've got the monthly live streams, which will be one first Wednesday next month coming up. And yeah, without you lot, I couldn't carry on making these videos. So I owe a huge debt of gratitude to every one of you. And I thank you all from me, Hannah and James, from the bottom of my heart for your support this year. You're all absolute legends. Every one of you, absolute legends. And that's it. All I can do now is wish you all Merry Christmas. I am live in the morning, Christmas Day. It's either going to be 10 or 11 a.m. I've got family coming, so I'm trying to work it around that. I've just got off live now on Christmas Eve. But I'll be live tomorrow. So if you can tune in, come and tune in. And if you can't, we'll see you when we next see you. I'll be live Sunday and all through next week as normal. And all I'd say is Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you all for your continued support. Thank you to all the friends, new friends I've made this year. Absolutely amazing people. Amazing people. Great friendship. Great laugh. Great banter. Great fun. And long may that continue to 2023. And I hope you all have a great Christmas. Enjoy the time with your families, friends. Eat too much, drink too much, play silly games, do everything you can to enjoy yourself. And we'll see you in the new year for lots of new videos. I get to start my 12-scale Modified Hero Ferrari, and my replacement parts are arriving next week. So I get to start that in January, and I cannot wait. That thing is going to be a nightmare and immense at the same time. So yes, and there may be a nice announcement for me next year as well. We'll see. Something I'm trying to plan and work out. There we go. Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a great time. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will catch you all next time. So take care, everyone. Bye-bye.